Imagine this, your wedding day. The one you've dreamed about since you were little. White dress hugging you just right, flowers everywhere, your new husband Alex looking at you like you're the only person in the room. Everyone's laughing, toasting, the DJ is killing it. Then your sister Sophia stands up during the speeches, microphone in one hand, champagne in the other, and smiles that perfect, practice smile she's had since we were kids. She raises her glass and says, loud and clear for all 150 guests to hear, I just want to thank Mom and Dad for the most incredible wedding gift. This morning they officially gave me the family house, the one Emily's been paying the mortgage on for the last 6 years. Every single payment, every renovation, every late-night side hustle, it's all mine now. Cheers to new beginnings. The room freezes. Forks clatter against plates. A few awkward claps ripple out, then die. I feel Alex's hand tighten around mine under the table so hard it hurts. My face burns, but not from embarrassment, from something colder, sharper. I didn't scream. I didn't flip the table. I just lifted my champagne flute slowly, took a long, deliberate sip, locked eyes with my mom across the room, and said one quiet sentence that made every drop of color drain from her face. But before I tell you what that sentence was, you need to understand how we got here. Because this wasn't about a house. This was about years of me being the invisible safety net while Sophia got handed the spotlight on a silver platter. And the moment I finally stopped playing along, it all came crashing down. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. So let's go back 6 years to when it really started. Because what I did next at that reception, well, let's just say I had receipts. Literal receipts. And one question Mom never wanted answered in public. 6 years earlier. Picture this. I'm 24, fresh out of college with student loans up to my eyeballs, working 2 jobs, one coding all day, the other bartending nights, so I can send money home. Dad had just lost his factory job. The mortgage was drowning them. Mom called me crying one Tuesday night at 2 a.m. Emily, we're going to lose the house. Your father's pride won't let him ask, but we need help. I didn't even hesitate. I started wiring $1,800 every month, straight from my paycheck. No questions. No thank yous most months. Just family helps family, right? Meanwhile, Sophia, 2 years younger, was still finding herself. Art school dropout, then yoga teacher training she never finished, then influencer phase where she posted avocado toast and got 400 followers. Parents paid her rent for 2 years so she could focus on her passion. My passion? Apparently paying bills so everyone else could chase dreams. I kept telling myself it was temporary, that once Dad got back on his feet, things would even out. They never did. Instead, the house got a new roof paid by me. Kitchen remodel, my bonus check. Even the stupid hot tub Sophia begged for, because self-care is important. Guess who covered the install? Alex used to tease me about it. We'd be curled up on our tiny apartment couch and he'd say, babe, if you ever win the lottery, buy your own house so they can't gift it to your sister when she gets married. We'd laugh. It felt like a joke. Until it wasn't. Fast forward to my engagement. Alex proposed on a quiet beach at sunset. Perfect. Simple. Ours. When I told my parents, Mom hugged me and said, we'll make sure your wedding is just as special as Sophia's will be one day. Equal. Promise. I believed her. Stupidly. Then Sophia got engaged 4 months later. Suddenly the air changed. Every family dinner, it was Sophia's ring this, Sophia's venue that. My wedding date? We'll figure it out. My venue deposit? Crickets. But when Sophia needed help with her photographer, guess who got Venmo'd the money from Mom's account? The same account I'd been quietly filling for years. I started keeping records. Every transfer. Every check. Every text where Mom said, don't tell your father how much you've given. I told myself it was just in case. Insurance. I never planned to use it. But then came my wedding day. The toasts were winding down. People were getting sentimental. And Sophia stood up. She didn't just announce the house. She framed it like charity. Like I'd been so generous, and now it was time for her to step into her blessing. Guests clapped, because what else do you do when someone drops a bomb wrapped in a bow? I sat there, veil still pinned, bouquet in my lap, feeling every eye on me. Alex whispered, "You okay?" I squeezed his hand back, smiled, and raised my glass. That's when I looked straight at Mom and said, calm as anything, "Mom, remember when you asked me to co-sign the refinance so the payments would be lower?" Her fork froze halfway to her mouth. The room got so quiet you could hear the ice melting in the champagne buckets. She knew exactly what was coming. And so did I. Mom's fork hovered there, trembling just enough that a tiny piece of cake slid off and plopped onto her plate. The whole reception hall felt like it had sucked in its breath and forgotten how to exhale. I leaned forward slightly, still holding the mic in my lap like it was no big deal, and finished the question. "So, the payments would be lower? And you begged me to co-sign that refinance because your credit was shot after Dad's layoff." Silence stretched. Someone in the back coughed. A phone camera flash went off because of course someone was recording. Mom's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Nothing came out. I kept going, voice steady, almost gentle. "You remember telling me it was just paperwork? That it was for protection so the bank wouldn't foreclose? And how you promised, swore on Grandma's rosary, that you'd never let it affect me?" I paused. Let that sink in. Then I delivered the line that turned the room inside out. "You also remember when the lawyer added my name to the deed? As joint owner. Not just co-signer. Owner. Because I asked for it. Quietly. In case anything ever happened." Gasps. Actual gasps. Like a horror movie. Sophia's face went from smug victory to confused betrayal in about 3 seconds flat. "What are you talking about?" she hissed, stepping closer to the head table. "The house is in Mom and Dad's name. They deeded it to me this morning. I have the papers." I smiled. Small. Cold. The same smile I used to give her when she stole my clothes in high school and swore she'd return them. "Check the date on those papers, sophomore. Then check the title. My name's still there. Has been for 4 years. They couldn't gift you what they don't fully own. Not without my signature." Dad made a strangled noise. Mom finally found words. "Emily, sweetheart, this is your sister's day." "No." I cut in sharper now. "This was my day. And you turned it into hers. Again." I looked around at the sea of wide eyes. Cousins, aunts, Alex's college friends who'd flown in from 3 states. Then back at Mom. "So I'll ask again. Nicer this time." I lifted my champagne like a toast. "Should I tell them now the rest of it? Or do you want to explain why you tried to give away half a house that isn't even yours to give?" The DJ killed the background music. Dead quiet. Sophia's fiancé looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him. Alex squeezed my thigh under the table. Support, not restraint. He knew I wasn't bluffing. And Mom? She looked like she'd aged 10 years in 10 seconds. But I still had one more card in my purse. And I was about to play it. The envelope was plain white. Nothing fancy. Just thick enough to feel important. I reached into my clutch. Yeah, I'd carried it all day under my arm like it was my security blanket, and slid it across the white linen tablecloth toward Sophia. She stared at it like it might bite her. "Go on," I said softly. "Open it. It's your wedding gift. From me." Her hands shook as she tore it open. Inside, one single sheet of paper. A quitclaim deed template. My half of the house. Ready to sign over. But paper clipped to the front was a typed list. Every mortgage payment I'd made since the refinance. Every property tax bill I'd covered. Every receipt for the new furnace, the driveway repave, the emergency plumbing when the pipes burst 2 winters ago. Total, $128,742. Plus interest I could have earned if I'd invested it instead of playing family hero. Sophia's eyes scanned down. Her mouth dropped open wider with each line. I spoke before she could recover. "I'll sign this today. Right here, right now, in front of everyone. You get the whole house free and clear. No more strings." A hopeful flicker crossed her face. Then I added the but only if Mom and Dad wire me the full amount, every cent, within the next 30 days. Cash. No installments. No, we'll pay you back later. Otherwise, I shrugged. I filed to force a partition sale. The house goes on the market. Highest bidder wins. And we all split whatever's left after the realtor fees and closing costs. The room erupted in whispers. Phones were out now, half the guests openly filming. Sophia looked up, tears already pooling. This is my wedding, Emily. You're ruining your wedding. I cut in, voice low but carrying. You announced you were taking my house during my reception. On my day. You turned my vows into your victory lap. So yeah, consider this my toast. Mom was crying silently now. Dad looked like he might pass out. Alex hadn't said a word the whole time, just sat there, proud, hand still on my knee. I leaned back in my chair, took another slow sip of champagne. The bubbles tasted like justice. Have any of you ever kept score in your family? I asked the room, almost casual. Ever wonder what happens when the person who always says yes finally says no? Sophia crumpled the paper in her fist. You're heartless. I smiled again. That same small, cold smile. Heartless would have been letting you keep it. I'm just asking to be paid for what I already bought. The DJ still hadn't restarted the music. No one moved. And then I said the last thing anyone expected. But don't worry. I'm not leaving yet. There's one more thing I need to show you all. I reached back into my purse. I pulled out my phone. Not dramatically, no big flourish. Just calmly unlocked it and turned the screen toward the nearest table of guests so they could see. Before anyone thinks I'm the villain here, I said, voice carrying over the stunned silence, take a look at this. It was a screenshot. Time-stamped 4 months ago. A text thread between me and Mom. Mom. Emily, Sophia's engagement party is coming up. We want to surprise her with something special. Can you help with the down payment on her condo? Just $15,000 to get her started. Me. Mom, I just paid the property taxes on the house last month. And the wedding fund is tight because you said you'd help with mine. Mom. We will, honey. Promise. But Sophia needs this now. She's struggling. You're doing so well. Me. I've been doing well because I work 70-hour weeks and live in a one-bedroom. But okay. Sending it. Then, the next screenshot. The Venmo confirmation. $15,000 from my account to Mom's. Labeled, for Sophia's future. I swiped to another one. Then another. 6 figures in loans that were never repaid. Gifts disguised as help. All while they told me my wedding would be taken care of. The room murmured. Someone muttered, Jesus. A cousin in the front row covered her mouth. I looked at Mom. You told me these were temporary. That you'd pay me back when Dad's pension kicked in. You told Sophia I was happy to help. But happy people don't keep spreadsheets of betrayal. Sophia was sobbing now, big, ugly sobs. Her makeup streaking. Her fiancé had his arm around her, but he kept glancing at the exit like he wanted to bolt. Dad finally spoke. Voice cracked. Emily, we didn't mean. You didn't mean to get caught. I finished for him. You didn't mean for the favorite to have to face the bill payer. But here we are. I set the phone down gently. Looked around at every face. Have you ever wondered what your family would do if they couldn't use you anymore? If the well ran dry? If the person who always said yes walked away? A few heads nodded slowly. Others looked away, guilty. I turned back to Sophia. I'm not taking the house. I'm not ruining your life. I'm just unfunding it. Then I reached under the table, picked up my small overnight bag, the one Alex and I had packed for the honeymoon suite, and stood. Alex stood with me. Silent. Solid. We're leaving, I said. Not because I hate you. Because I finally love myself enough not to let you keep taking. Mom reached out. Emily, please. I shook my head. 30 days. Wire it. Or we sell. Your choice. We walked toward the double doors. Past the cake no one had cut. Past the dance floor that never got used. Guests parted like the Red Sea. And just before we stepped out into the night air, I paused. Turned back one last time. But there's one thing I haven't told you yet, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The one thing that makes this whole night even more ironic. The irony? The one thing I hadn't told them yet. I looked straight at Alex. then back at the room full of stunned faces. Alex and I aren't just leaving the reception, I said slowly. We're leaving the family. For good. A ripple of shock rolled through the guests. Mom's hand flew to her chest. Dad's face crumpled like paper. See, while you were busy planning Sophia's future on my dime, Alex and I were quietly building ours. We bought our own house 6 months ago. Closed last month. In cash. No mortgage. No co-signers. No family strings. I let that hang for a second. The down payment? Every extra dollar I didn't send home after the first few years of helping. The renovations I skipped on the family house, so I could save. The side gigs I took while you told Sophia her dreams mattered more. That's what bought our place. Our real fresh start. Sophia stared at me like I'd slapped her. You lied? No, I said. I just stopped telling you everything. There's a difference. I turned to Mom one last time. You always said family helps family, but help isn't one-sided. It isn't endless. And it definitely isn't supposed to come with humiliation on your daughter's wedding day. Alex stepped forward, took my hand. We were already at the doors. 30 days, I repeated. Wire it. Or the house sells. Either way, I'm done being the backup plan. We walked out. The cool night air hit my face like freedom. Behind us, the doors swung shut on the silence we left. Months later, they scraped together the money. Sold Dad's classic car, took a home equity line on the very house I'd paid for, begged relatives. Sophia's blessing turned into monthly payments she couldn't afford. The favoritism finally had a price tag. And me? I cut contact. No holidays. No calls. No guilt. That one question to Mom, should I tell them now? Wasn't a threat. It was me finally choosing myself. Have you ever reached that point? Where staying quiet hurts more than speaking up. Where the people who should protect you start using you instead. If you've ever been the family bank, the invisible fixer, the one who always says yes, drop I finally said no in the comments. Hit like if you'd sip champagne through your own betrayal. Subscribe if you want more stories where the quiet one finally gets loud. Because sometimes the strongest revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just walking away. And never looking back. Or, do you want to?